And we have engine start. And
Allumage
liftoff.
UAP, décollage.
Decollage, liftoff from a tropical rainforest to the edge of time itself. James Webb begins a voyage back to the birth of the universe.
On April 24 of 1990 was the start of the Hubble Space Telescope, the first telescope that let us take a huge look into space and find more stars and galaxies and planets and so on. And here we are now in Christmas of 2021, the launching of the James Webb Space Telescope. The telescope costed around $10 billion and Webb will go to outer space and give us something we never heard about. Maybe it will change our look to the universe. Webb has a primary mirror of 6.5 meters across, and this is so huge that it required a special rocket to be built only to carry Webb to space. This telescope is the first telescope that works in infrared light, and combine this with a 6.5 huge mirror, you can say that Webb is very sensitive. Plus, the infrared signals is electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than those in the visible light, and it is therefore invisible to human eye. IR, or the infrared, is generally understood to contain wavelengths around 1 mm or 300 GHz to the red edge of the visible spectrum. And unlike Hubble, who has observing only visible light, Webb is the scientific successor to Hubble. The goals were motivated by the results from Hubble, so in a simple comparing, Webb can detect a buzz of a bee on the surface of the moon from the Earth, and that's how sensitive it is. So after launching, Webb will travel 1.5 million kilometers away from Earth, and it will be actually in the back of our planet. And not like Hubble, which was orbiting Earth, Webb will actually orbit the Sun and will reach the destination after a month, and it won't be ready immediately because this telescope works in a low temperature, and that's require Webb more 100 days to cool down and be around minus 235 degrees Celsius to operate correctly, and this also will give the scientists more time to locate Webb correctly and start detect the infrared signals from stars and galaxies. All events that happened in the past is now redshifted. So as the universe is expanding, everything was in visible light will be in infrared signal now. And this is the main reason behind Webb, because Webb can actually show us a time or a period of time we didn't see before. Like the birth of not only stars, the birth of galaxies, and how galaxies form, and how stars and planets form. And speaking about stars and planets, Webb will have the ability to study the planets around stars, the exoplanets. Exoplanets are planets orbiting other stars, with some small or big, hot or cold. But what is important to us that there is some planets are on the habitable zone, planets on area which water can be flown on the surface as in liquid form. So Webb will have a small arm that can block the starlight, and this can let Webb to study the fade exoplanet and look very closely to their atmosphere for any signature of oxygen, and if there is oxygen, is there is water, and if there is so, is there any evidence of other life, or in general are we alone? The nearest exoplanet to us is Proxima b. This is mostly to be Earth-like planet. It's just 4 light years away, and its mass is around 1.3 the mass of the Earth, and it's orbiting a small red dwarf called Proxima Centauri. This planet is totally locked by the star gravity, so only one side is always facing the star and the other side is just dark. Webb will look into the atmosphere composition of this planet to see if there is any possible life there. Even there is some scientists assuming that life maybe existed on the dark side of the planet, but we still don't know. And this is not the only mission. Our solar system is one of the main missions to Webb, as it will go into each planet and it will look into the layers of each one. Mars, for example, Webb will have a good time helping rovers on Mars to discover more about the red planet and its past, and also the outer planet, especially Jupiter and its moons, Uranus and Neptune. All of this Webb will observe more and more. I'm really excited to see what will happen in the future. We will expect a lot, such as the whole born of the universe, how galaxies form, and the birth of stars, exoplanets, and the most interesting part, are we alone? So stay tuned for the upcoming video, and I will see you in the next one.